Hello everybody, I'm Bo Adams. If you don't know me or recognize me, not quite sure who all might be watching this, so just thought I'd introduce myself. I'm going to be doing a little video about setting up a tent and breaking down a tent. Coach Dabbs asked me to do so, and I would do just about anything for that man. So this is a one-person tent, and it's a one-pole system, and I thought I would show you what it looks like set up, and then I will dismantle it and show you how it works, and then put it back up. So these clips right here hold the tent fabric to the actual pole system, and like I think I said, it's a one-pole system. You could have tents that are two-pole systems, three-pole systems, and I love a one-pole system. It's just less things to keep up with. So again, these little clips are holding the material to the pole. The poles or pole obviously gives the tent its structure. Otherwise it would just be like laying a jacket on the ground. And that'll give you a pretty good sense of what the pole system is like, if you can see that. Yes, there is a three-person tent behind it, and this has become the tent room of the house, but you can wonder about that. I won't reveal all the mystery. So this pole is designed pretty cool in that it has shock cord in it, or expansion cord, and then the poles pull apart in sections, just so that you are less likely to lose a section of the pole system, but so that it can fold up. In my backpacking and camping life, trying to find the lightest tent you can that serves your needs is great, and being able to pack it all up in a small backpack for multiple days is really helpful. So that's what the pole system looks like, folded up about the size of from my elbow to my fingertips. And the tent obviously would be rolled up and stored in a storage bag when you take that out. So what I tend to do is just lay the tent out. And yes, typically I am outside when I'm doing this, but it's still a little wet out there. So these have been inside. So you take your tent pole system after you've laid your tent structure out, and this can be a little tricky for folks when you're first trying this out, if you've never done it before. Typically your tent poles are going to follow some sort of sleeve in the material like they do in that three-person tent. And in this case, oops, I'm going to scratch up my walls and ceilings. My wife's going to kill me. So you can see this tent pole system. Basically, this is the middle of the tent, and then the two arms that come down. So it basically just slides in to these eyes to give it center structure. And then these end pieces, you kind of have to muscle it in sometimes and push the tent poles. They'll bend and are flexible, and they fit into those small eye holes. Sorry if I'm giving y'all a bad angle at times. Not my intent. So that shows you the basic structure once you use those poles that are bendable and flexible. And then these clips just pull up the rest of the tent to keep it structured as you would be using it on a day-to-day basis. It's pretty quick. feels a lot longer as I'm talking to y'all in this video, but it's a pretty quick in the field setup. What you would do next is, besides the tent material and the poles, you also are typically going to have ground spikes, and you would take these and put them in the corner of that little fabric loop and push them into the ground at about a 45-degree angle with the hook facing away from the tent, just to give it tension in the ground, to create that tension. And you would stake all four corners. Then with a tent like this, you have a rain fly. So you can maybe see in the video how it's vented. Tents can get a little stuffy, especially in the summer if they're not vented. So it's got some good mesh and venting there. Then the rain fly goes over the tent. Rain flies attach to tents differently depending on the kind of tent you've got. This one has snap buckles that buckles it to the four corners of the main tent structure, and then just aligning the opening of the rain fly with the tent is really important, but some people make that mistake and then have to start over. And then probably the last piece that's good to know is, if I were outside, this rain fly has cord on several places, and I'm just going to extend that cord at an angle away from the tent, following kind of the line of the tent poles to that angle, and stake them in as well to hold the tent fly taut. That way when the water hits or morning dew, it runs away instead of pooling in pockets of the material if it's not tight with the tent stakes. Then there are a lot of other features in different tents. Being able to roll up the door flap, for instance, is kind of typical. There are usually pockets on the inside. This particular tent is angled on one side on the back, so you can actually put your backpack and other materials in the tent with you, which is helpful. And that's about it. In that 3-person tent, you've got a 3-pole system, so you basically just do the same thing, but the poles aren't all attached to each other. Hope you find use for this, and it's a good skill to have. Take care.